Hi, I'm Stan DeFreitas, Mr. Greenthumb. We're glad that you're with us on this edition. We're going to talk about one of my favorite herbs, and that is basil. Now, basil comes in a number of different types, but this is the traditional basil. Then we have kind of another red leafed one over here. I shouldn't say flowering, but red leafed basil. And because of it, people will sometimes have mixes. Basil is probably one of the most important herbs you can have because you can use it on salads. You can have it with cheeses and tomatoes. You can put it into soups, or you can use it in tea. So it's one that you could have even on pizza. So there are so many different uses for having fresh basil. Now I know you can buy a little basil in a little plastic thing and it says fresh, and it is, but why not buy your own little basil, and you can get about a half a cup of fresh leaves off of this basil every week. So it's probably the better buy. Plus it's fun to see something growing. Now you can grow this on a sunny windowsill. Remember that basil likes probably about 6 to 8 hours of sun a day. So don't stick it on that corner where it's really dark, because you're going to get a very long, leggy looking basil. And of course you can trim it back. This opal basil, or red basil as we might call it, kind of purple, has kind of a more muted scent than this, but a lot of folks like to have a mixture of the two. And there's others as well that you can get, especially flavored type. This is the most common basil, and remember that basils are in the mint family. That means they like a pretty good amount of moisture. So don't get carried away to where the soil's constantly wet, but if you use your moisture meter, which we have, stick it in the soil. If it's dry down below, you need to water again, which means maybe every day, maybe every other day, depending on the size of the container. The smaller the container, more frequently you're going to have to water. Larger container, normally you can get a little bit longer in between waterings. So remember, 6 to 8 hours of sun a day. I would tend to pinch it back and use those leaves to give you that nice bouquet, that nice aroma. It's kind of my go-to herb. It's one that everybody in the family seems to like. You know, you can have it, I say, cheese, you can have it with salads, you can use it in so many different ways. So I would think that you'd want to have some fresh basil at your disposal. Put it in a good draining soil, and that means usually some peat, some perlite, something that lets the water go through. You don't want it to sit in water, but you also want to make sure that it can hold some moisture as well. Basil is a good choice to have in your landscape. Now, if you like this one, make sure you hit like and make sure you hit subscribe, and also tell all your friends that grow any plants about the Ask Mr. Greenthumb series.